The ship came out of faster-than-light travel with a soft hum. Through the wide windows, Station Meridian filled the view like a small moon made of glass and light. It was the center of galactic power. 17 ancient species had built it together over thousands of years. Now it floated in the darkness between stars, beautiful and cold. Ambassador stood at the window and watched. She was 34 years old, with dark hair pulled back tight and eyes that gave nothing away. She had spent 15 years in diplomatic service. She had negotiated peace treaties, trade deals, and once talked a terrorist into releasing hostages with nothing but her voice. But this was different. This was humanity's first real test on the galactic stage. Behind her, the rest of the delegation prepared for arrival. Captain checked his uniform for the third time. He was a big man, former military, with hands that could break bones and eyes that were always watching for danger. He did not like this mission. Too many unknowns. Too many ways for things to go wrong. Doctor sat in the corner studying her tablet. She was their language expert. She had learned 6 alien languages in the past 2 years, but she still worried it would not be enough. The translator devices helped, but they could not catch everything. Meaning lived in the spaces between words, and those spaces were different for every species. Lieutenant was the youngest. 26 years old, fresh from the academy, chosen for this mission because of his quick mind and calm nerves. But right now, his nerves did not feel calm at all. His leg bounced under the table until gave him a look that made him stop. The pilot's voice came over the speaker. Docking in 10 minutes. Please prepare for station gravity. Turned from the window. Everyone knows their role. We speak only when spoken to. We observe everything. We give them nothing they can use against us. And if they insult us, asked, his jaw was tight. They will insult us, said simply. That is certain. We will smile and thank them for their time. Did not like that answer, but he nodded. The ship docked with a gentle bump. The airlock opened, and strange air flowed in. It smelled like metal and flowers and something else that none of them could name. Station Meridian used a special atmosphere mix that all 17 species could breathe. It was not comfortable for any of them, but it would not kill them either. A floating drone waited for them in the docking bay. It was a sphere of silver light, about the size of a human head. When they stepped off the ship, it scanned them with a beam of blue light. Welcome to Station Meridian, the drone said. Its voice was flat without emotion. You are the human delegation. You will follow this unit to your assigned quarters. They followed the drone through long corridors of crystal and strange metals. The station was massive. They walked for 20 minutes and saw only a small part of it. Through windows, they glimpsed other areas. Gardens filled with plants that glowed, pools of liquid that moved on their own, chambers where beings of light drifted like ghosts. Other species passed them in the corridors. Some walked on 2 legs, some on 4, some on none at all. A creature made of living stone nodded at them as it passed. A being that looked like a cloud of colored smoke flowed around them without stopping. 2 tall figures with too many eyes watched them from a doorway. Tried not to stare, he failed. The drone led them to a section of the station that felt different. The walls here were plain. The lighting was dim. The air smelled stale. These are your quarters, the drone said. You will remain here until summoned. Food and water will be provided. Do not leave this section without escort. Looked at the small rooms. They were clean but simple, nothing like the beautiful spaces they had passed on the way here. We thank the Council for its hospitality, she said. The drone made a sound that might have been acknowledgement. Then it floated away. Checked the rooms for listening devices. He found 7 in the first 10 minutes and stopped counting after that. They are watching everything, he said. Of course they are, replied. We would do the same. Had already connected to the station's public information network. I am picking up broadcasts from the council chambers, she said. They have been discussing us. What are they saying? Asked. His face was hard to read. They are debating whether to hear our petition at all. Some of them think we are wasting their time. Others think we might be amusing. Amusing, repeated. The word tasted bad in his mouth. The consortium called us briefly intelligent animals. The hollow architects suggested we might make useful servants. Paused. The choir of endless light recommended we be studied and then return to our planet with our memories erased. The room went quiet. Broke the silence. Why did we come here? They clearly do not want us. Because staying home was not an option, said. She walked to the small window that looked out at the stars. We discovered faster-than-light travel. We built ships. We started exploring. The galaxy noticed. If we had stayed quiet, hidden on Earth, they would have come to us eventually, and they would have come on their terms, not ours. She turned to face her team. Right now, they see us as children, annoying, perhaps dangerous, but ultimately small. They will try to put us in a box, label us, control us. Her eyes were steady. Our job is to make them understand that the box they have built is not big enough. Crossed his arms, and if they decide to destroy us instead, then we will make sure they remember the cost. The words hung in the air. Outside, the stars burned cold and distant. Somewhere on this station, 17 ancient species were deciding humanity's fate. They had ruled the galaxy for 12,000 years. They had seen civilizations rise and fall like waves on a shore. They thought they knew what humans were. They were wrong. Sat down and closed her eyes. In 3 days, she would stand before the most powerful beings in the known universe. She would speak for 8 billion people who had never seen the stars up close. She would carry the weight of every human who had ever lived and died and dreamed of something more. She was not afraid. Fear was a luxury she could not afford. But deep in her chest, something burned. It was not fear. It was hunger. The same hunger that had driven humans out of caves and across oceans and into the sky. The hunger to survive. The hunger to matter. The hunger to prove that brief lives could cast long shadows. She opened her eyes and smiled. Let them think we are animals, she thought. Animals can be surprising. 2 days passed slowly in the lower tiers. The human delegation was not alone in this forgotten section of the station. Other species lived here too. Young civilizations, new to space travel, waiting for their chance to be heard by the council. Some had been waiting for years. Some had already been rejected and were waiting for transport home. They moved through the corridors like ghosts, their hope fading with each passing day. Watched them carefully. She learned their names, their stories, their failures. A species of insect-like beings had been rejected because they bred too fast. The council feared they would spread across the galaxy like a plague. A race of gentle giants had been turned away because they refused to share their medical technology. They believed healing should be free, not traded. The council did not understand charity. Every rejection teaches us something, told her team during their morning meeting. These species failed because they did not understand what the council really wants. And what does the council want? Asked. Control, said. His voice was bitter. They want to stay on top. Nodded, partly, but it is more than that. They want stability. They have ruled for 12,000 years because nothing has changed. They fear change more than anything else. Looked up from her tablet. Then we are exactly what they fear. Humans change faster than any species in the known records. Our technology, our cultures, our ideas. We transform ourselves every generation. Yes, eyes were thoughtful. That is our greatest strength, and they know it. That afternoon, a visitor came to their quarters. She was tall and thin, with silver skin that reflected light like a mirror. Her eyes were large and dark, without any white. When she moved, it was like watching water flow. Her name, translated roughly, was Bright Mirror. She was a diplomat from a species called the Listeners. I wanted to meet you, she said. Her voice was soft, almost musical. Everyone is talking about the humans. Invited her to sit, stood in the corner watching. "What are they saying?" asked. Bright Mirror made a gesture that might have been a smile. "Many things. The consortium believes you will embarrass yourselves and go home. The hollow architects think you might be useful as workers. The choir of endless light finds you interesting." "Interesting is better than boring," said. "Perhaps." Bright Mirror leaned forward. "I came to warn you, Ambassador. The Council has already decided to reject your petition. The hearing is a formality. They want to study how you react when you lose." The room went cold. His hands clenched, his face went pale, even shifted, his body tensing. But simply nodded. "I suspected as much. Thank you for confirming it." Bright Mirror studied her. "You do not seem upset." "Being upset would not help." His voice was calm. "May I ask why you are telling us this? Your species has a seat on the council. Warning us could cause problems for you." The listener was quiet for a moment. When she spoke, her voice was different, softer, more real. "Because I am curious," she said. "My species has lived for millions of years. We have seen everything. Nothing surprises us anymore. But you humans," she tilted her head. "You are new. You are strange. You feel things so strongly. You live such short lives, but you fill them with so much noise and color and meaning." She stood up to leave. "The council thinks they know what you are. They have put you in a category. Young species, brief, limited potential. They have seen your kind before." She paused at the door. "But I have been listening to your radio signals for 30 of your years. I have heard your music, your stories, your arguments, and your laughter." Her dark eyes met. "You are not like anything we have seen before, and that terrifies them." She left without another word. That night could not sleep. She walked to the observation window and stared out at the stars. Somewhere out there, Earth was spinning through space. 8 billion people were living their lives, falling in love, fighting, dreaming, dying. They did not know that their fate was being decided by creatures they had never met. Found her there an hour later. "You should rest," he said. "Tomorrow will be difficult." "I know." She did not turn from the window. "Do you remember why you joined this mission?" He was quiet for a moment. "My daughter, she is 7 years old. She asked me once if there were other people in the stars. I told her yes. She asked if they were friendly. I did not know what to say." "What did you tell her?" "I told her that we would find out together." Finally turned. In the dim light she looked tired, human, fragile. "They think our short lives make us weak," she said. "They think we are mayflies, here today, gone tomorrow, not worth their time." "Maybe they are right." "No," her voice was firm. "They are wrong. Our short lives make us burn brighter. We know we are dying from the moment we are born. Every second matters. Every choice matters. We cannot wait 1,000 years for things to get better. We have to fight for them now." She looked back at the stars. "When I stand before the council, I will not beg. I will not pretend to be something we are not. I will show them exactly what humanity is. And if they still reject us," she smiled, but there was something sharp in it, "then they will learn that rejection has consequences." Studied her. He had served under many commanders. Some led with fear, some led with logic, some led with charm. Led with something else, something he could not name. It was like standing next to a fire that had not yet been lit. You could feel the heat waiting. "What is the plan?" he asked. "The plan is simple." Turned away from the window. "They expect us to fail. They expect us to cry or beg or threaten. They have seen it all before." She walked past him toward her room. "So we will do something they have never seen. We will tell them the truth, and we will let the truth do the work." She paused at her door. "Get some sleep, Captain. Tomorrow we show the galaxy what humans are made of." The door closed behind her. Stood alone in the dark for a long time. Outside, the ancient station drifted through the void. 17 species slept in their beautiful chambers, confident in their power, certain of their place in the universe. They had no idea what was coming. The grand conquered chamber was the most beautiful room had ever seen. It was shaped like the inside of a sphere. The walls curved up and around, covered in crystals that caught the light and scattered it into a million tiny rainbows. 17 platforms floated at different heights, each one holding the representatives of an elder species. In the center, at the lowest point, was a single podium made of something that looked like frozen starlight. That was where had to stand, alone, surrounded by beings who had ruled the galaxy since before humans learned to make fire. The rest of her delegation watched from the observation tier. It was high above the main floor, far from the center of power. Around them sat representatives from dozens of other species, young civilizations, waiting species, rejected ones. They had come to watch humanity's petition. Most of them expected to see another failure. Walked to the podium. Her footsteps echoed in the perfect acoustics of the chamber. Every sound was amplified. Every breath could be heard. The chamber was designed this way on purpose. It made speakers feel small, exposed, afraid. She reached the podium and stood still. Above her, the elder species watched. The consortium, with their 6 eyes and clicking mandibles. The hollow architects, beings of living stone that moved like mountains learning to walk. The choir of endless light, a collective of energy beings that spoke with a single voice made from thousands of minds. And more, so many more. Species that breathed methane. Species that existed partly in dimensions humans could not see. Species so old that they remembered when the first stars were born. High Arbiter Vellum floated at the highest platform. He was made of shifting membranes that glowed with soft light. He was the voice of the council, the judge, the final word. "You are the human called," Vellum said. His voice filled the chamber like water filling a bowl. "I am," replied. "You have come to request membership in the Galactic Conquered. You may present your petition." Took a breath. This was it. Everything led to this moment. "Thank you, High Arbiter." Her voice was calm, clear. "I come on behalf of Earth and all humanity. We request a seat in this council. We offer our knowledge, our culture, and our partnership to the Galactic Conquered." For a moment there was silence. Then the laughter began. It was not human laughter. It was worse. They made a chittering sound like insects in a jar. The hollow architects ground their stone bodies together in a noise like an earthquake. The choir of endless light produced a harmony that somehow sounded like mockery. In the observation tier, his face went red with shame. Gripped her tablet so hard her knuckles turned white. His hand moved toward his sidearm before he caught himself. But did not move. She stood at the podium and waited. The laughter faded. Elder of the consortium leaned forward. His 6 eyes gleamed in the crystal light. "Your knowledge," his voice dripped with contempt. "What knowledge could you offer? Your species has had faster-than-light travel for 30 of your years. We mastered it before your planet cooled. We have forgotten more than you have ever learned." From another platform, the resonance spoke. It was the voice of the choir of endless light, beautiful and cold. "Your culture, we have heard your music, noise. We have seen your art, crude markings. We have read your literature, the scribblings of creatures who die before they can develop any wisdom." The granite throne, speaker for the hollow architects, added its voice. The sound was like boulders rolling down a mountain. "Your partnership, what could you contribute? Your bodies break easily. Your minds process slowly. Your lives are measured in decades, not centuries. You are born, you struggle, you die, over and over, generation after generation, like insects." The word hung in the air, insects. More sounds of agreement rippled through the chamber. The elder species nodded and clicked and hummed their approval. The humans were being put in their place. Everything was going as expected. In the observation tier, a species of small furry beings turned to look at the human delegation with pity in their eyes. They had seen this before. They knew how it ended. High Arbiter Vellum raised a membrane. "The human may respond to these concerns." Every eye in the chamber turned too. She tilted her head. It was a small movement, just a slight angle of her chin, a tiny shift in her posture, but something changed in that moment. The air felt different, heavier. The laughter died completely. Looked up at the assembled powers of the galaxy. 17 ancient species, 12,000 years of rule, more knowledge, more power, more history than she could possibly comprehend. She smiled. "You speak of what we lack," she said. Her voice was soft, but in the perfect acoustics of the chamber it reached every ear, every membrane, every sensor. "You are right. We are young. We are brief. We are fragile." She began to walk, slowly, circling the podium. "But you have made a mistake. The same mistake that old powers always make. You have confused length with value. You have confused age with wisdom. You have confused size with strength." She stopped and looked directly at Elder. "You mastered faster than light travel before our planet cooled. That is true. It took you 200,000 years to develop it. We did it in 200. The chamber went very quiet. "You call our lives brief. They are. The average human lives less than a century. But in that century we do more, create more, change more than your species do in a millennium. We have to. We know we are dying. Every moment counts." She turned to face the choir of endless light. "You call our music noise. Perhaps to your ears it is, but our music carries emotion. Pain, joy, love, loss. We pour our entire short lives into our songs. When we sing, we mean it." The resonance flickered, said nothing. "Face the hollow architects. You say our bodies are fragile. They are. We break easily, we scar, we age, we end." Her voice hardened. "And yet we keep going. We have a word for it, perseverance. We walked through ice ages. We survived plagues that killed half our population. We fought wars that burned our cities to ash. And every single time we got back up." She returned to the center of the podium. "You ask what we contribute to this council. You want to know what brief, fragile, noisy little humans could possibly offer to beings who have lived for millions of years." She looked up at High Arbiter Vellum. "We contribute hunger." The word echoed in the chamber. "Not the hunger of predators. We have grown past that. The hunger of creatures who know that time is short. The hunger to learn, to grow, to become more than we are. The hunger that drove us out of caves and across oceans and into the stars." Her eyes swept across the chamber. "You have ruled for 12,000 years. You are wise. You are powerful. You are stable." She paused. "But when was the last time any of you were hungry?" No one answered. Tilted her head again. This time the gesture was deliberate, controlled. It was the look of a predator deciding whether something was prey. "You are afraid of us," she said quietly. "Not because we are strong, because we are fast. In the time it takes your children to learn to speak, our have already changed the world. You see our brief lives and call us insects." She smiled. "But insects adapt, insects survive, insects inherit the earth." The chamber was silent, not the comfortable silence of agreement, the heavy silence of beings who were hearing something they did not expect. Stood at the center of the grand conquered chamber and felt the weight of 17 ancient civilizations pressing down on her. They were not laughing anymore. They were listening. She continued. 30 years ago, we discovered we were not alone in the universe. A probe crashed on our planet. Some of you already know this. You were watching." She looked at High Arbiter Vellum. "You are always watching." The Arbiter's membranes flickered, but he said nothing. "We found the probe. We studied it. We took it apart piece by piece and learned how it worked. The technology inside was beyond anything we had ever imagined. It should have taken us centuries to understand it." She paused. "We understood it in 3 years. We built our own version in 5. We launched our first faster-than-light ship in 7. A murmur ran through the chamber. Some of the elder species shifted in their seats. The timeline was wrong. It was too fast. Species did not learn that quickly. Since then, we have mapped our local star cluster. We have established 17 colonies on 17 worlds. We have developed weapons, defenses, communication systems, and technologies that your databases do not have records of. Elder leaned forward. You are bluffing. We have monitored your transmissions. Your technology is primitive. You have monitored the transmissions we wanted you to see. His voice was calm. We learned very quickly that we were being watched. We learned even more quickly that showing our full capabilities would be unwise. The silence deepened. In the observation tier was pale. This was not part of the briefing she had received, looked at with wide eyes. The captain's face was stone. He had known and said nothing. Continued walking, slowly circling the podium. You think of us as children, new to the stars, stumbling in the dark, but children grow, children learn, and these particular children learn very, very fast. She stopped and faced the choir of endless light. Your resonance can process information across 1,000 minds at once. Impressive, but you process slowly, carefully. You consider all options before acting. That is wisdom. She tilted her head. But wisdom can also be weakness. By the time you decide to act, we have already acted 7 times. The resonance flickered with colors that the translator could not interpret. Turn to the hollow architects. Your bodies are nearly indestructible. You can survive in the vacuum of space. You can withstand temperatures that would melt steel. You are ancient and you are strong. She paused. But you are also slow. It takes you decades to make decisions that we make in days. Your strength is patience. Ours is speed. The granite throne was silent. She faced the consortium. You are predators. Your species evolved to hunt, to dominate, to consume. You understand power. You respect strength. Her eyes met Elder 6 eyes. We understand power too, but we do not just respect strength. We create it. We build it. We become it. His mandibles clicked. It might have been anger. It might have been something else. Returned to the center of the podium and looked up at High Arbiter Vellum. You have ruled for 12,000 years because you have been careful. You have seeded young civilizations with technology and watched to see what they would do with it. Most destroy themselves. Some become useful servants. A few become threats that need to be eliminated. She paused. Earth was your 44th experiment. The chamber went completely still. Even the energy beings stopped flickering. We found the records, said, buried deep in the probe's memory, hidden behind encryption that your engineers thought was unbreakable. We broke it in 18 months. Her voice was steady, quiet, devastating. We know about the seeding program. We know about the 31 species that destroyed themselves. We know about the 8 that became your tributaries. We know about the 3 that you exterminated. She tilted her head. Species number 37, the Bright Wanderers. They developed faster than light travel in 400 years. You considered them dangerous. You sent a fleet. You burned there. You erased them from history. The silence was absolute. Species number 41, the Deep Thinkers. They developed artificial intelligence that could rival the resonance. You were afraid. You introduced a virus into their networks. Their civilization collapsed in a single generation. High Arbiter Vellum's membranes had stopped moving. Species number 43, the Unity. They were peaceful. They wanted nothing but to be left alone. But their biology allowed them to adapt to any environment. You feared they would spread across the galaxy, so you sterilized their planet, made it impossible for anything to ever live there again. His voice dropped to almost a whisper. In the perfect acoustics of the chamber, it was louder than a shout. We are species number 44, and we have been watching you watch us. In the observation tier felt his heart pounding. This was not diplomacy. This was a challenge, a dare, was telling the most powerful beings in the galaxy that humanity knew their secrets, that humanity was not afraid. Elder rose from his platform. His 6 eyes were blazing. You threaten us. You dare to threaten the conquered. I am not threatening, replied. I am informing there is a difference. We could destroy your species in a day. We could burn your colonies, sterilize your planet, erase every trace of your existence. Yes, nodded, you could try. The word hung in the air, try. We are 30 years old as a spacefaring species, continued. In 30 years we have done things that should have taken centuries. We have learned, adapted, grown, and we have prepared. She looked around the chamber. You do not know what we have built. You do not know what we are capable of. You do not know how many ships we have, or how many weapons, or how many plans we have made for exactly this moment. Her eyes found vellum. We are not here to beg for membership. We are here to offer partnership, true partnership between equals. The arbiter's membranes shifted slowly. Equals. You compare yourselves to species that have existed for millions of years. No, shook her head. We compare ourselves to what we will become in 100 years, in 1,000, in 10,000, she smiled. You have seen what we can do in 30 years. Imagine what we will do in 100. She let the words sink in. You can reject us. You can try to destroy us, but you cannot stop us. We are human. We do not give up. We do not surrender. We do not quit. Her voice rose slightly. You burn the bright wanderers. You collapse the deep thinkers. You sterilize the unity, but we are not them. We are faster. We are hungrier, and we have learned from their mistakes. She stepped back from the podium. The choice is yours, partners or enemies. The offer is made. The chamber was silent. High Arbiter Vellum floated motionless. The elder species did not move, did not speak, did not breathe. And in that silence something changed, something shifted. The balance of power in the galaxy tilted just slightly in a direction it had never tilted before. Toward Earth. Toward humanity. Toward a species that refused to know its place. The silence in the grand conquered chamber lasted for a long time. Stood at the podium and waited. She had said what she came to say. Now it was their turn. The 17 elder species, rulers of the known galaxy, sat on their floating platforms and processed what they had heard. In the observation tier, watched with his hand resting near his weapon. He knew it would not help if things went wrong, but old habits died hard. Beside him was recording everything on her tablet, had stopped breathing. Finally, High Arbiter Vellum moved. His glowing membranes shifted and pulsed with colors that the translator could not read. When he spoke, his voice was different, slower, more careful. You have made serious accusations, he said. You claim knowledge of operations that do not exist in any public record. They exist in your private records, replied. We have copies. We are happy to share them if the council wishes. Another long silence. Elder rose again. His voice was cold. How did you obtain this information? The same way you expected us to destroy ourselves with the technology in that probe. His voice was calm. We learned. We adapted. We survived. This is impossible, said the resonance. The collective voice of the choir of endless light wavered slightly. Your species lacks the cognitive capacity for this level of infiltration. Does it? Tilted her head. Or is that simply what you wanted to believe? The granite throne spoke. Its voice was like an avalanche in slow motion. You speak of partnership, but you have revealed our secrets, threatened our stability, challenged our authority. This is not the behavior of a partner. This is the behavior of an equal, said. Partners do not bow. Partners do not beg. Partners stand face to face and negotiate from positions of mutual respect. Respect, Elder clicked his mandibles. You demand respect while holding threats over our heads. I demand nothing. His voice sharpened. I offer. That is different. We did not come here to make enemies. We came here to prevent a war that would cost both sides more than either could afford. She looked around the chamber one more time. You can destroy Earth, perhaps. You can burn our colonies, kill our people, wipe our culture from the galaxy, but it will not be quick, it will not be clean, and it will not be free. We have spent 30 years preparing for exactly this possibility. We have hidden weapons in places you do not know. We have made alliances you have not discovered. We have planned for a war we hoped would never come. Her eyes met Velem's glowing form. Destroy us and you will win, eventually, but the cost will break the conquered. Other young species will see what you did. They will learn from our fight. They will prepare better than we did. And one day, maybe not soon, but one day, another species will finish what we started. She stepped back. Or you can accept us. Work with us. Let us bring our hunger, our speed, our creativity to the council. Let us help you grow again. Let us remind you what it feels like to be young. The chamber was silent again. Then something happened that no one expected. High Arbiter Velem began to glow. His membranes pulsed with a pattern of light that recognized from her studies. It was old, ancient, a form of communication that predated the translation systems. She gasped, looked at her. What is it? It is the recognition pattern, she whispered. The oldest gesture of respect in the conquered's history. It has not been used in over 3,000 years. In the chamber below, the other elder species began to stir. Some of them recognized the pattern, others did not, but all of them understood that something significant was happening. Velem floated forward, closer to than any arbiter had ever been to a petitioner. You are not what we expected, he said. No, agreed, we rarely are. You speak of partnership, of equality. These are words. What proof can you offer that humanity would honor such an agreement? Was quiet for a moment. Then she reached into her jacket and pulled out a small object. It was a photograph. Old, worn, faded. This is my grandmother, she said. She was born in a small village. She lived through wars, famines, disasters. She lost her husband when she was 30. She raised 3 children alone. She worked until her hands bled. She never left her country. She never saw the stars. She held up the photograph. But she told me stories about the future, about a world where her would not have to suffer as she had. She died believing that things would get better, that humans would learn, that we would grow. Her voice softened. I am here because of her, because of millions like her, humans who lived and died and never saw the result of their sacrifices. They could not imagine this chamber, this station, these beings, but they believed in us. They trusted that their children's children would carry their dreams forward. She looked at Velem. That is what humanity offers, not just technology, not just resources. We offer hope. We offer the belief that tomorrow can be better than today. We offer the willingness to sacrifice for a future we will never see. She put the photograph back in her jacket. We are brief, we are fragile, we are flawed, but we are also faithful. We keep our promises, we honor our debts. We remember those who helped us and those who hurt us. Her eyes hardened. Be our partners and we will be your partners, for as long as humanity exists, but be our enemies. She did not finish the sentence. She did not need to. High Arbiter Velem was silent for a long moment. Then he turned to the other platforms. The council will deliberate. This petition requires careful consideration. Elder started to object. Velem silenced him with a gesture. The human delegation will be given proper quarters while we discuss, not in the lower tiers, in the diplomatic wing, as befits. He paused. As befits a potential partner. The chamber erupted in noise, arguments, objections, questions, but underneath it all something had changed. The automatic rejection was gone, the easy dismissal was gone. Humanity was being taken seriously. In the observation tier, finally remembered to breathe. Hands were shaking, allowed himself a small smile. Walked out of the chamber with her head high. She did not look back. 3 rotations later, the Council announced its decision. Earth was granted provisional membership in the Galactic Concord, not full membership, not yet, but a seat at the table, a voice in the discussions, a chance to prove themselves. It was more than any species had achieved in 4,000 years. On the transport home, Lieutenant finally asked the question that had been burning in his mind since the chamber. "Ambassador, when you tilted your head like that, what were you doing?" Looked out at the stars streaming past. They were beautiful, cold and distant and beautiful. "I was reminding them," she said quietly, "that predators tilt their heads when they are sizing up prey." Swallowed. "And sometimes," continued, "the prey tilts back." Standing nearby, laughed. It was a real laugh, the first one in weeks. The ship flew on through the darkness. Behind them, the Galactic Concord was changing, slowly, carefully, but changing nonetheless. The elder species were waking up. They were remembering what it felt like to be challenged, to be surprised, to be afraid. And on a small blue planet, 8 billion humans looked up at the stars and wondered what was out there. They did not know it yet, but the galaxy had just become their home. Brief, fragile, relentless. Human.